Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on the YouTube account and we are continuing our journey trying to get Leviathan and trying to figure out where to get some more of those Draconic insignias. Now we know with the Fates gamble that is up right now, we do get quite a bit with the sign-on gifts, also the hero parchment. So there is going to be a point where we are going to get additional Draconic insignias when we're building out all of these heroes, but those are going to take a little bit of time. Draconic gift we have already done in the entirety, as well as the bountiful trials that we're going through that only gives you a card. So no insignias in there. Now they've added them to a multitude of places within AFK Arena. Of course, hopping into the store, this is going to be one of the places where you're going to get a regular income when it comes to those Draconic insignias. And right there they are. Now, when we start thinking of the store, Draconic insignias, because they are still the most powerful heroes within AFK Arena, we are absolutely going to go ahead and pick these up in the entirety. Then I would probably get my time emblems out of here. Again, right now we really don't need them, so I'm not going to worry about them right now. And then looking at also the Draconic scrolls as well as the Stargazer scrolls, just because the majority of these heroes are not meta in any formation anymore. Then we get into the guild store, which I know we do have a little bit of time, I believe, on the reset. So we do have Hilduin that is up, but Draconic insignias and our time emblems come out of here. And again, thinking about the power of the heroes, thinking about the meta formations that those Draconic heroes and those Awakened heroes are falling into, absolutely a huge priority in here. Now you'll notice on this account, we have 25 days to the reset. We have almost 60,000 of our coins. Now we have already purchased, we already do have both, and we got both of the dimensional heroes, meaning there's not really a huge reason to save any of the resources in any of the resource chests. But I have started buying, as you can see, we have the helm, we have the boots. A lot of players were wondering where we do get our dimensional gear. It is randomly, and it shows up randomly within the guild store. But like I said, if you have not gotten both of those chests to get the heroes, do not buy any of the gear in here until you get Sun Jin Woo and you get Shahe with their copies or with their chest. Now I'm going to grab this chest right in here. That means we just need the weapon for her, and then she will be done with the actual dimensional gear that we can take up to that tier 4. Now within the barracks, getting all the stones up here makes a big difference if you're building out the elder tree right here in the bottom. And unfortunately, insignias haven't been added to the elder tree, but this is also the place you want to get those emblems of space. When we start looking at Shahai and when we start looking at Sun Jin Woo, they do require a higher signature item, and this is where the emblems of space are going to come from. That way you can actually build them up. I'd be really cautious to use the red chest, because remember, red chest you can use on any of the heroes. And I would also be cautious, do not use the red chest when it comes to your Draconic heroes. They have their own Draconic insignias that you can get, and overall that is kind of where you want to get that from. Then of course the Challenger Sword, just waiting on red chest as well. So we still have a lot. Now the Beast, we haven't seen this beast being used anywhere, so I did pick up one copy. Now, the big reason, if you look at all the beasts and why we say you need to get beasts up to 18, it is really a priority to getting to 18. So the new beast did come out yesterday. There we go. So after resonating, you receive 47 copies of the beast for free. So we'll go ahead, we'll click, and there is our 47 copies of the beast, taking the beast all the way up to 18. We will quick upgrade. Boom. That gives our fully developed, fully built beast, meaning that any future releases, any beast that we do get in future updates, we're automatically going to have them built out in the entirety. Now, there are a few beasts that do require a full build out, meaning the skill level, or this level 18 skill that they get at level 18 really does make a difference. And for some beasts, it is really make it or break it with the skills that we have in there. Now, in addition, once you get them to 18, the merchant ship is going to give me that little animated avatar. I'm going to have to get some more monthly cards in here. Twisted Bounty, Poke Coins, or Baits. Really, if you're going in here and you're newer to AFK Arena, I would pick up the Baits. I would focus on building up the beast early. Poke Coins you're going to kind of need forever, which we definitely need those. And then Regal Rewards, again, if you're early, this can allow you or give you the ability and more access to a lot of newer heroes. But overall, the advancement bundles work incredibly well. The fun, I think it's Fun in the Wild is another one that does work incredibly well when it comes to a purchase. Now, looking in here, this is pretty interesting. So this is the new hero, and you'll notice that we have 20 Draconic insignias for $15. You do get your free 3 down here if you get it. So roughly $23, but I mean, you're talking the cost of these is pretty significant. Let me grab up the new beast, which you can see the new animated frame right there, but I think it comes down here to the bottom. There's all of these free baits, guys. And there we go. There is our little animated avatar. Estrella is almost out of the shop. I believe that's why it's pinging me here. Probably has, yeah, 2 days left. Usually when we get to a hero and they're about to be retired, they do have a little bit, it'll ping you just saying, hey, it's leaving the shop or the event ship pretty soon. So make sure you pick it up if you want to pick it up. So also, when it comes to the Dragon Isle, now a lot of players were kind of questioning the Dragonforge trials and going through here. So you can see we've got Draconic Heroes. We've made it through all of this content, which gives us a significant amount of reward. So we do get 250 of the Dragon Bone stamps, which is going to, again, allow us to prioritize and allow us to build up and get these Draconic insignias. They are the priority. They are the ones that you really do want to look for and want to get before we do the scrolls. Because remember, even with the scrolls, you can also use diamonds in that game mode. But Draconic insignias or the Draconic heroes, the highborn Draconic heroes specifically, are the ones we do want to look for. We're going to see with all that we collected and all that we got right now, can we do a couple more summons? We have another 30 in here. I was also hoping that we got this Supreme Benefits pack. So let's talk a minute about this. So you can see they were giving us free 6 insignias. And again, when you looked at the 20 or the 23 insignias was $15.99. Here, 30s insignias is $4.99. When it comes to kind of the cost return for the heroes itself, this is the cheapest by far to get the insignias, which I got to drop my password in there. I'm gonna have to see exactly what that is. So let me take a look and then we'll pick up this pack as well. All right, so there we go. So not only do we get diamonds, we get the insignias, we also do get a couple other things, including these continuum points. Now, these are used within the Temporal Rift once you get to a certain level, and we also do get the sonnet notes, which again could yield us some additional rewards depending on how many you have. But there we go. So we picked up that pack. That is going to give us another, and I believe it was 60. So let's talk about this for a minute as well. So when you think of the Draconic heroes, the highborn Draconic heroes, most players have said 65 is the pity, and most of the summons that you do in here will go to the actual pity timer. If you remember, we have already used 610 Draconic insignias trying to get Leviathan. Unfortunately, we were, I believe, 1 copy short from getting him up to Ascended. Then we still need additional 3 copies to get him up to that 1 star, unlocking the engraving and being able to engrave him, which means looking at this, we're probably going to be running about 750, 800 again, just quick mathematic without any good RNG, without any luck to actually get Leviathan. That's why we've kind of bumped it up and said roughly 700 of those Draconic insignias is what you're going to be looking for to actually build these heroes. So I'm hoping today, guys, we are going to get the hero that we're looking for in here. The pull number 1, yeah, and like we said earlier, Dragon Speak emblems and those epic Dragon Speak emblems, definitely worth saving those to build the Draconic heroes. That way you can save your red chest. And there we go. There is a copy, which is just a single copy. So let's see. I think that was the one that we did need in here to build him up, and that will take him up to Ascended. But we still need 3 more copies to go ahead and build him up. But finally, guys, that does give us the ability to add furniture on there, which I don't think at this point we have any furniture for him. But that's okay because we can add him to the Oak Inn in just a minute. Let's hop back into the Dragonforge and we'll grab and hopefully grab a couple more copies of him. And again, we need 3 more copies with 40 cards. I know that's going to be virtually impossible, but you never know. So there we go. Some more Dragon Speak emblems. Pull number 2. So we are that much closer. And the last one yields us another copy. Can it be just, it is. I was hoping for a double, but another single. That means we are 2 copies away and only 2 copies away from getting this hero built out in the entirety. Wow. Yeah. 2 copies away from having him built up, and going in here, adding and building him up a little bit further gives us some more resources. Now with Draconic heroes, specifically the Dragonforge trials, you really do need Draconic heroes in here to push. It's incredibly, incredibly difficult if you do not have. But now that we've picked them up from the couple places that we were able to get those insignias, unfortunately, it's going to be a little while before we can pick up any more. Now in here, we have all of our Draconic heroes. You can see starting to get a lot more in the tower, even with Umbriel up here. So I'm going to use the cards that I have because I do have a few cards available to go ahead and build him up a little bit further. Just because we saved him, there were a couple different game modes where we get him kind of on a regular basis. So there we go. So we have him built out. We have him in the entirety. Workshop, I don't believe, well, I thought we put him in here, which we did put him in there. We have one card there. Let's go ahead and do one more summon. Maybe we'll get lucky. And it is a one for Envy. That's okay. Envy still best in slot in so many places within AFK Arena. And you can see we're just building out all of his furniture sets. These two we are actually going to use for Leviathan. And then I believe I do have 2 additional ones in the bag, so we can go ahead and build them up a little bit further. Get at least that 3 of 9 furniture, trying to get him to the 9 of 9. And for a majority of heroes, the 9 of 9 furniture is really the minimum when you're building them out. Again, that is kind of the minimum for where we are building and where we're developing almost all of the heroes. I don't know any that, 3 of 9 is just a priority or 3 of 9 is all you want to build. Majority of them do require that 9 of 9 furniture. And of course, poke coins in the Oaken just does take an incredible amount of time. Let's go ahead. We'll drop him down. Boom. That gives us the 4 of 9 furniture, which is awesome. Optimized everyone else. Let's hop in here. We will recycle everything else, which not really going to give us any furniture really at all. That's okay. So we are at the 4 of 9. Now, also remember, we already built him up to that plus 46 item. So he is pretty well built. That gave him a little bit of furniture. I'm going to have to get some gear for him. Probably build him a good HP collection is what I'm looking for. But being at Ascended and getting again to this 3 of 9, each time he knocks an enemy in the air, he recovers health, gains some damage resistance. And then, of course, when Leviathan survives, the defense rating and haste of the enemies he knocks in the air is reduced. Their defense rating will be reduced for a maximum reduction of 60%, which is huge because, of course, reducing their defense rating is going to allow everyone else to do more damage, making him, again, one of the big priorities. And I believe at this point of AFK Arena that he is in that SSS tier. I'm just looking at the utility, looking at the game modes. I believe he has moved into a higher tier. I think I have gear for him. I think I've been getting a couple of those chests, which we have. You know what? I'm going to pick this up for Leviathan. I'm thinking that we'll get him let's get him the weapon because he is strength based, and we will get him some boots. We'll get the 2, and usually those are the 2 priority ones. So let's go in here and look at the strength base. Let's get him the weapon right there. Let's go strength base. Let's go ahead and get him the boots. There we go. So we'll go ahead and confirm both those. Let's throw him on there, which it'll probably override depending on what he's wearing. There we go. So let's enchant this up. This is going to be awesome because we have a ton of tier stones in here. That is going to give him a little bit more stats, or actually a lot more stats at this point. 190 of these tier chests. There is the magical resistance buffed up a little bit, and we'll do the exact same for the boots. We've been collecting these again little by little, putting them on some meta heroes. I know Land got some as well, as the draconic version of Gwen. Accuracy goes up right there. Crit and magical resistance and some tenacity. There we go. We can resonate everything else, giving him the tier 3. Definitely built up a little bit further. And I love how he looks. It is really cool as a Highborn Draconic hero, just how massive he is. He almost makes me think of like a Brutus on just the character itself, like how just massive in a mountain that he is. But all right, guys, so we're that much closer to getting the hero built out. Again, Dimensional Exchange, I know we do have a couple more days on this. I believe right now it's 5 more days before we can get both of these heroes. And we're actually starting to see them in formations, which we were really hoping that we would. You can see this last row has a ton of the exchange chests, so make sure that you're getting both of them. A lot of players have said, which one do I need to get? The answer for that is both of them in their entirety. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.